Hi everyone. So we're here at the the end of another long week with all of our patients. Been pretty busy one this week. I've had a lot of patients this week talk to me about disc degeneration, so I wanted to do a video for you guys and share my knowledge with you about disc degeneration, the narrowing of the discs, disc degenerative disease. Let you know a bit more, give you a bit more context about what it means. A lot of people think that degenerative disc disease, disc degeneration, disc narrowing, that will happen, disc bulging, disc herniations, that all happens because of wear and tear into our spine, so because of how we've used it. A patient said to me yesterday about how they used to work on a pig farm, loads of heavy lifting, and they said, you know, do you think that's caused the narrowing of the discs in my spine? Well, the highest quality research paper that I've ever seen on disc degeneration said this: disc degeneration is largely governed by your genetics. Okay, so your discs look pretty much exactly how your genetics say they should. Okay, so the actual thickness of the disc, whether it's a big, thick, fat, juicy one or a much thinner one, it kind of doesn't matter, if you like. They look exactly how your body says they should look. And that's independent of what kind of job you did. In this particular research study, what they did was they took some twins and they did MRIs of them on day one, and then 30 years later they took MRIs of them again. And there was two twins, there's one set of twins. One was worked in admin and the other one was a farmer. And after 30 years, when they took the MRIs of them, their spines looked the same, despite one of them doing really heavy manual work every day and one of them doing a desk-based job. And I'm not even saying that they look similar, they look exactly the same. So I think what that tells me is that we need to rethink this idea that we've always had, that disc degeneration causes us loads and loads of problems. Because if the discs look how they're supposed to throughout our life, how related to our pain can they be? Particularly when pain is multifactorial. So maybe it could be a factor in it. I mean, there was another research paper came out in 2018, very, very high quality study. It reviewed all of the available research we have, and it did say that disc degeneration seems to happen more in people who have back pain. So there possibly is some kind of relation there, but it's definitely not a linear. You know, I've got disc degeneration in my spine, I'm 28, but I don't live with back pain, okay? I can manage it perfectly well. So it tells us that we do need to rethink that narrative. Yes, disc degeneration might be involved in your pain, but it's not a reason for you to not recover, okay? So what I want to show you a bit more about that, I've got some models here, so I'm going to show you those. Okay, so this, you can't see it. So this disc here, this one just here, okay? So this is a couple of vertebrae. This is a disc in the middle. We've got the facet joints around the back there, the holes where the nerve comes out there, that little yellow thing's the nerve, okay? That is what we would call a normal disc and undegenerated spinal segments. This one here is starting to show some wear. So we can see that there's a bit of lipping here. We've got a bit of a lip on. This disc here is bulged out slightly. I don't know if you guys can see that. And it's a bit thinner than the previous one, than this one over here. That's a bit thicker. That's a bit thinner. We've started to get in the top there. We've got a little bit of herniation starting to happen. So that's something that as the disc starts to wear and the joints start to wear, that's what happens. Now this is much more advanced. So we've got this extra big lipping over the edge here. This is what we call an osteophyte. The disc height, the vertebral body height is actually thinner. It's narrower than it was. It's not as tall, if you can see that there. Yeah. We've got a big disc bulge in the top there. You've got a bit of the space at the back here, there, where the nerve comes out. That space will start to get narrower because this disc has gotten smaller. Now, as I say, I mean, I'm calling it wear there, but I'm telling you it's not. But as those changes happen, they happen as we get older. So the better way to think about those is wrinkles on the inside. That's what we say to our patients. So people who are over the age of 60 have the most age-related change in their spine. They have the most facet change, the most disc degeneration. They have the most of all of that stuff. But those people over the age of 60 have the least back pain. So that tells us that we need to rethink this idea of how we're talking about the actual structure of the spine. If the people with the most degeneration and the most wear into their spine have the least pain, that doesn't make sense on that old narrative. Okay, so what I would say to you guys is, if you have got that stuff in your spine, that might be a reason why you have some pain at the moment, but it's definitely not a reason that you would have to live with pain. Okay, as I said, I have that in my spine. I know Sam has that in his spine. He has it in his neck, definitely, quite significantly. And we've both had problems in the past that might have been a factor in. But it's not a reason for us to live in pain. We're now able to live without pain, with minimal pain. So we're able to be on top of our symptoms for the majority of our lives. So what I want you guys to do is to think about that over the next few days. Don't get, yes, you may have those changes in mind, but don't get too drawn into that means you have to be in pain forever, because it definitely doesn't. Okay. If you've got any questions about any of that, stick it below. I'd love to hear what you guys think. I know that flies in the face of conventional wisdom and what most of us are told about our back pain, but it's what the research is telling us, so we have to follow what the research says. So I'll leave that with you guys. Let me know what you think. I'll come back to you guys again in the next few days with a few posts and a few more videos. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'll speak to you all again soon.